I'm not going to say sorry, but you're going to have to excuse the fuck out of me for setting hard boundaries when it comes to protecting my inner child. You see, the thing is, the first memories I have as a child is my stepfather knocking my mother unconscious and then sexually assaulting her in front of me and my sisters. I was seeing what was meant to be seen by a grown-ass man. I was feeling thoughts that were meant to be felt by a grown-ass man, not a child. Till I was about 11, she stayed with that man, and he would beat her to a bloody pulp almost on a daily, and we would be in and out of homelessness because they were both drug addicts and alcoholics. And we would stay with family members and such, and one of these stays with family members, I would be molested by my cousin Randy. When my mother finally left that man, she became him. And she started to beat on me, and say very hateful things to me, and drink even more, disappear to the bars and wouldn't show up sometimes till the next day. Leave me panicking as a child, calling around to the bars trying to find out where she was at. She didn't own a cell phone, she didn't own a car. And she would whoop me and she would ground me for months on end. By the time I was in middle school, I already knew what it was like to do a 3-month county jail bid. My mother would ground me for each and anything. She thought if she can ground me and keep me in the room, she could just go out to the bars and not have to worry about anything. I remember she would say hateful things to me also and stare at me as if I was a grown-ass man. I remember the teachers in school never advocating for me and realizing there must have been something going on. No, they just labeled me a bad kid. Did I have behavioral issues? Sure, but who would have thought, coming from a perfect childhood? But let me remind everybody, I'm only about 12 years old to this point of the story. Finally, one night it would get so bad at my house and my mother would whoop on me so bad that my aunt would have to come into the home and take me out of it and eventually would adopt me. And my aunt and uncle would become my parents for all intents and purposes. I would call them mom and dad. And things were great for a moment and they got much better. I wasn't getting physically abused. Once again, from a very young age, I remember just getting treated as this grown-ass man who was making calculated grown men decisions when I was only a child. I remember not being able to pay attention in school. I remember being really angry. Who would have thought with a kid from a perfect childhood? Nobody offered me counseling. Nobody offered me grace. Nobody offered me empathy. They